This is how I am quilting my own Christmas tree skirts. I'm doing an applique and I'm doing it all on my own. I'm not following a pattern. I couldn't find a pattern that I wanted. So let me show you how, because it's actually super easy. First, I'm just taking our normal Christmas tree skirt, and ours ties, so I think that will be easier. You're gonna want to do one that cuts up the middle. And then I'm just taking this huge piece of fabric I have, and I'm going to trace the tree skirts on the huge piece of fabric. I'm gonna trace it and then cut it completely out. Once you have your tree skirt, you're going to decide on what you want to put on it. So this is going to be quilted. This just is the top part. And we'll do batting in the middle and then another piece of fabric on the back. But once you have your tree skirt cut, you will decide what you wanted. So I wanted kind of like a village theme, but like village catered to me. So I did houses, a tractor, a tobacco barn, and then a church. And then I'm just gonna keep repeating it over and over. You can design whatever you want in Canva, and then you can print it out, or you can honestly do clip art, whatever. But I hacked the system because I have a Cricut that I got off Facebook Marketplace for $40. And it's the Explorer 2, I think. I don't know anything about the Cricut. I just originally got it because I thought, well, whatever, maybe it'll help me someday. It was so cheap that I got it. So I figured out that I can design in the Cricut app whatever I want, and then it will cut the fabric for me. So if you know anything about quilting, you know that cutting is the worst part. And I never get it perfect. So let me show you how I did that as well. I found that my Cricut machine cuts the fabric easier when I attach the heat and bond to it. So I'm going to iron on the heat and bond onto my fabric, and then I'm going to just put like the film part onto my sticky mat, and then I'm gonna speed it through. I can do a different tutorial on how to do it in Cricut, but I've designed the church and I'm gonna send it to my machine and it's gonna cut it out for me, and then we'll go from there. This just cut the church for me, so I'm just going to tear off the heat and bond off of the sticky mat, and then I'm going to tear off the church, but I'm going to leave on the heat and bond because it is kind of hard to get it off of the, there we go, sticky mat. Because then I can just iron it on to my tree skirt, and it will stay in place while I'm sewing the applique stitch. And just iron it on. Once you get all of your pieces onto the tree skirt, you're gonna do an applique stitch on all of the objects. So I am doing a zigzag stitch, and you can set your width or length to whatever you want. I kind of like to do a 1.8. Well, actually I'm gonna do 1.4. And then I like to have it just like in the middle. And you're gonna wanna turn on your back stitch. And I have a quilting footer on, but it'll tell you what foot to use. All right, so after you have finished your applique on the tree skirt, you can either put batting and then the other side of the tree skirt together and quilt it and do a binding of bias fabric around it, or you can do like I want to do a ruffle. So we are going to make a ruffle and then attach it to the edge of this, and then I'm going to cookie it together, kind of like you would a pillow. I will show you, but I will do this side, the ruffle, I will fold the ruffle in, and then I will do the other side, the back of the tree skirt, and then the batting on top. And then I'm gonna leave an opening and I will turn it inside out so that the ruffle, this raw edging doesn't show and the ruffle looks like it's all sewn together. So I will show you how to do that next. Forgot to film this part, I'm sorry. But I sewed the ruffle on and I am just sewing the entire thing together now. So you will layer it with the tree skirt with the applique side, or the side that you want to show underneath the tree. You will layer that facing the backing fabric and then the batting on the back. The backing fabric will be in the middle if you're thinking of it like a cookie. I'm doing a stitch around where I stitched the ruffle. I'm doing a stitch to tack the batting in the backing fabric. You're gonna wanna leave a hole so that you can pull through, just like you would a pillow, and you're gonna pull it through this little hole. I think I sewed my hole a little too small, but you're gonna just keep working it through. It'll look like this when you flip it inside out, and you're gonna fold this little piece over and sew it. Now you can leave it completely like this, like mine is kind of plush, or you can do a quilting top stitch. The last step is sewing the straps or ribbon bow tie onto the opening of the tree skirt. This is totally optional. You don't have to do it. I just think it adds some cute little flares. So I just took fabric and I folded it over twice. I did 2 inches, folded it over twice and ironed it. And I'm just gonna sew a stitch on the side and the end so it doesn't fray.